These clips are what I produced in the last video, but I had to cut out because I was running out of time, and that is marking the stiles and specifically for which gate. So we've got a left hand gate and we've got a right hand gate, and the outside we call 1 and the inside we call 2. So we have left 1, left 2, right 2, right 1. And then we take one of the vertical slats that's going to board the front and we position it over there, and that is going to be the width of our mortice. And we carry out the same procedure at the top, but we just drop it about an inch so that we're not too close to the curved top. Positioning the board on the face of right hand 1, we mark the back because that's where the outside face of the mortice wants to be. Taking the marking gauge, we set it to this mark that we've just made, and then we can scribe a line and continue that scribing on all the remaining pieces. The heavens opened and we were blessed with torrential rain, so I quickly cleared all the equipment into the shed and went back inside to watch television. We didn't go to the bonfire. It was well attended though, even with the torrential rain. I think there was 7,000 there, and the noise was horrendous, and it affected the viewing because there was one or two good programs on last night. In particular, The Last Kingdom by Bernard Cornwell. When marking out, remember to put the pencil to the point and then bring the set square to it, not as I did on the first line, but as I did on the second. The rain persisted next day as well, so I cleared the shed and started to work there, and I finished off the marking out. What I'm trying to demonstrate here is how all the lines join up even though the timber is not square or regularised, by keeping the set square on the face lines all the time. The next important job is to select a chisel. This is the first one that I selected, and I tried one or two others, but I found that the beveled chisel was just a little bit too big. Taking the selected chisel and placing it on the marked line that we've put in there, the face, you just give it a sharp tap and it makes a mark. We can then reset the marking gauge to this width, the width of the chisel, and we now have a precise position to make the mortice. We now transfer these marks now down to where we've marked where the rails are positioned. Now we can start in earnest forming the mortices, and there are other ways of forming mortices, but to be honest with you, this is nice and steady. It doesn't need a lot of skill in getting them true. All you've got to do is tap, push forward, take out, tap again about another 1/16, and keep doing that nice and steady. It only goes wrong if you hit the chisel too hard, if you don't push it forward, and if you try and take off too big a chunk other than a 1/16 strong. If you're using a router or a drill to drill these out, which is what some people recommend, you still have to do it in 1/4 of an inch stages. And we're talking about 4 inches, so that's 16 times that you've got to go down. It just ain't worth it. Here I'm just demonstrating a cheaper, simpler chisel, a bevel edged, which works perfectly well. You don't have to have a specific Mortice chisel. Same principle, tap, push forward, pull out, go another 16. A section, you just get a thinner chisel and just oik the timber out. Another point is, when you start mortising, you start in the middle. You can either go forward or you can go backward, but you start in the middle. And you turn yourself round or the wood round and you start chiseling in a different direction. Now when you've mortised to about halfway, you then turn the piece of wood completely over and you start the whole process again until you break through, clean out, and you've now got a mortice. I was quite surprised how well this wood reacted to the chisel. It didn't splinter or give any resistance, it just went through nice and easy. The chisel I am using is called a Carpenter's Sash Mortice chisel. It's an antique that is I think 100 years old or over. There are 2 stamps on the blade, one St George Adams Specialist Lathe Maker 144 High Holborn, and the other stamped Sorby with a cross, the cross like a Maltese cross, and that is the testing inspector's mark and guarantees the quality of the steel as the finest Sheffield steel. George Adam died in 1935 and his business was closed down in 1930 and disbanded. I've seen a similar one on eBay and the asking start price is £20, so it's not a bad bargain. I bought it for £8 in a second-hand shop. Just saw it there, snapped it up, and the guy was pleased to take my £8. We've now cut through 50%, so after we've finished cleaning out, we can put the chisel into the hole, make it hit the bottom, put the thumb on it, pull it out, and you can see what the depth is. You can see that is halfway through. So all we have to do now is turn it over. The style has been turned over and we start again in the centre, tap, move forward, tap, and you just keep going, and in next to no time you'll be through. Here we have the finished mortice. I started this at 2:48 and I finished it at 3:35. So that's 1 down and 7 more to go. Next day I cut the remaining 7, which took most of the morning and just a little bit into the afternoon. So now we have got to do is make the tenons, but I'm running out of time at the moment. And the other thing is I've got to make a rod, not one for my own back, but one to make life easier, and I'll explain all this in the next video. I'll just say that I haven't used a tape or a ruler as yet. I did mention in the first video that I'd make the lats 3 feet, but there could have been 3 foot 1 or 35 inches or even a metre. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, and I look forward to receiving some comments. But it's bye for now, till next time. Bye.